Hi, welcome back. On this episode, we're going to make a GoPro mount for our motorbike. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button. Also, check me out on Instagram at Clara Garage. And you can also join and become a member of the Clara Garage YouTube channel. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so I'm making a new mount to go on the front fairing of my motorcycle. The last 2 years, I've tried using the factory GoPro ones. And when you go on a long trip, they just don't last. By the end of the trip, you have tape wrapped around your fairing trying to hold it in place. And so I'm going to try to hopefully make a better one. I think part of the issue is just the footprint that they have on the fairing isn't big enough. So I've actually already made the portion that goes on the fairing. So here's the bracket that I made. So it has about 4 times the surface area as a factory GoPro one, and I have it all full of tape underneath. There's a good 3M double stick tape, so hopefully that's going to hold it on. And when I set the angle for the nut right here where the camera's going to screw into, I had the bike up on a center stand, and I made sure it was level in all directions best I could. So when I'm going down the road, my camera will be level and hopefully not tilted. So all it is a 1/8 inch plate. I tried to make it as big as I could without looking absolutely hideous on there, because I know that that doesn't look as nice as having nothing there. So I was trying to do my best to make it not look absolutely terrible. And then it's just a nut right here that comes up. It was a nylon lock nut. I tried going easy with the heat, but it still melted a little bit, but it's not too bad. And then my plan is, when I'm not recording anything, I just have a small bolt that I'll paint black, and I'll just have it threaded in just to keep water and rain out. It's kind of ugly looking, but otherwise the threads will eventually rest on that nut. So I'll end up doing that. Maybe I'll make something decorative on it, but probably not. And then for the actual camera, I have a little bit longer bolt, so that'll thread in. And then I have a wing nut that I'm going to put just above this nut so I can cinch it down so it can't wander. And then my camera will be able to sit on there, and it should be pretty good. And one other nice thing with it being a bolt, I'm going to be able to swivel the camera so I can have the camera pointed in 360 degrees wherever I want it to try to get the best shot possible. So that's what I have going on the bike. I probably should have recorded making that bottom mount. The trickiest part was getting that nut set the right angle. So like, I had my bolt threaded in. I did 1 tack on it, and I just kept gently bending it till I got the height. And then when I just got close to where I wanted it, I did a couple more tacks, because the welds, if you bend them too much when they're just a light wimpy tack, they break sometimes. And then once I had that bolt with the handlebars straight, and I'm up on the center stand so the bike's sitting good too, I had a level this way and kind of checked all the way around, and it was perfectly level. And one nice thing with the GoPros, they do have a little bit of self-leveling in them, so if you're not 100%, the GoPro should correct that for you, which is good. So, because I want it to be nice and level, but I wanted to be able to turn the camera so I can be looking straight ahead or off to the sides, because sometimes that's where the better shots are. And then this bolt I've already kind of cleaned up. It's like a regular bolt, has markings on it, so you can kind of see some markings on the top of that. So I didn't want that to throw my level off, so I cleaned those up so this was just a flat surface. So I'm planning on using this wing nut right here. So you can see that wing nut, and I'm planning on having this wing nut to be my locking nut when I get my camera set where I want it, except these arms coming out are coming out too high. So I'm going to cut them and bend them down so they're flat, so it's easier to get in and tighten, and it won't interfere with going up into the camera. So we're going to do that right now, and then from there we're going to make our actual camera mounts on the top of the bolt, and it shouldn't be too bad. So we're going to cut these and bend them flat, and then it'll be a quick easy weld and a little bit of cleanup. Alright, we got those cut and spread open, and now we're going to fill those grooves in with weld. That'll make it easier for us to reach and tighten, and it won't interfere with the camera up above. So that's what it looks like. Put my hand behind so you can see those grooves. So we're going to fill those V's in with weld, so it will be nice and strong. We'll be able to use that to tighten. Alright, we got that welded. We're going to let it cool a bit, and we'll make sure that our weld is nice and clean so we don't cut our fingers or anything, but it looks pretty good. But it's definitely pretty hot, but it looks not bad. So this is cooling. I'm going to get my pieces made up for holding the camera on. So for holding the camera, it's you need to weld 3 pieces on. You need to weld a piece that goes in between, and then a piece on each side. And the piece in between, you want it to fit in snug. And then the pieces on the side, it's okay if they're flexible, but I like to tap where the GoPro bolt goes in. This way you're not fiddling around with the nut or worrying about a nut coming off and losing everything. You can just tighten it up, and then if you're worried about your bolt that's holding the camera on coming out, you can always drill a hole and put a piece of rebar wire or something through it. I've done that before. So I made a mount for my chum's race car, and I was worried about the bolt coming out, so I had used the GoPro mount, or the GoPro bolt, and I drilled it out and put a piece of rebar wire on. So once I get it done up, I tie the rebar wire up, and then the bolt can't back out. It might come loose and the camera might move, but it won't can't come all the way out. So, and I haven't had any issues yet. We've run a full season like that. All those modified race car videos, that's my chum, and it's with one of my homemade GoPro mounts on his roof, holding it on. Even the mount that the camera's on right now on my tripod is a mount that I made myself. As the GoPro one broke, it was cheap plastic and it doesn't hold up. So I made my own and just tapped it out, so it's just like factory but better. Alright, I'm ready to start welding my pieces on to the bolt. So I'm going to start with the middle part first. And I wanted the flat side of the bolt to be the on the edges. So I'll have my 2 other pieces coming here and here up. So when I do my center one, if I try to keep it center of the 2 peaks, if you look at it from that angle, that'll keep it lined up. And I just have it in the vise. I have it kind of locked in place so it doesn't turn on me, so I can weld it. And then like my other pieces will sit like that, and then another one on this side here. And And then once I get them welded up, I'll be able to go on the grinder and clean everything up so it's all uniform. And I'm probably going to put a little stub of dowel off the back, just so I can kind of turn it and not be stressing the plastic on the camera. So we're going to get this welded. We have things as square as we can. Alright, we got that welded in. I blew it off with some air so I can touch it. And that's what it looks like. It's looking pretty good. I just need to clean up a little bit. You can just feel a couple of little slag balls. If you want to get those out of the way, well, it's easy to access. But the welds themselves look pretty good. So we'll clean this up real quick. And then we'll move on to the next piece. And we're also going to clean this bolt up just a little bit to make sure that we can sit flush on the bolt, so we can do a good weld on it. Alright, now our next step is to get our two outer pieces on. So we'll need a piece here and a piece here. And we're going to slip the camera mount on and make sure that they're the right spacing. And then we'll probably tack it in with the camera mount or case in place. I have it all taped up with some paper towel underneath that so I don't scratch the lens or anything. Just so I can do my tacks and I don't have to worry about damaging it. But just tacks, if you weld it, with this being your spacer permanently, you'll end up melting the case and it'd probably be no good enough to throw it away. I got the camera case on, and I have my two outer metal pieces sitting there and then a vice grip on it, so everything should be spaced appropriately. And I'm going to do 6 tacks, just quick little light tacks, and then I'll pull the camera case off so I can weld it solid. But looking at it, we have the center one welded, and then the camera is in there for our spacer, and then we have our two outer pieces. So my plan is to tack here, and the same thing on the other side, and then do a tack just there. Same thing on this side as well. Tack right there. And then I'll pull that camera case off and then weld it up. I have the vice grips kind of holding it in place. Looking down and in, looks like everything's sitting nice and flat, so we should be good. And so we're good to do some tacks. Alright, so we should be able to take our vice grips off now. And we should be able to pull our camera out. So this is what it looks like now. Not too bad. So now we can weld up the rest of the way. And we should be pretty good. Alright, those are welded up. It's cooled down. Looks pretty good. So now I'm going to weld a little nub on the back. I'm going to cut a piece of 1/4-inch dowel. I'm going to weld a little piece about to where my thumb is. Maybe a little bit longer. I'll weld it a little bit longer at first so I can trim it up. and then get right to where I want it. And that'll just give me something to hang on to turn the camera one way or the other. But before I do that, I'm going to go on the vise or on the bench grinder, and I'm just going to clean everything up so it's all the same shape and level, and we'll be pretty good shape. Alright, it's all welded up. I got a little piece off the back, so I'll be able to spin it without stressing the plastic on the case. And I've already gone ahead and I drilled my holes through. You want to drill your holes once you have all your pieces welded. This way they all line up perfect. So you want to do that so they line up good. And then I went with a bigger hole through 2 of them. Alright, so now we got to tap this. So we're just tapping the one side, and then the other 2 holes are drilled 2 sizes bigger. So the size that we're tapping, it is a 5 by 0.8 millimeter tap. And we have a tap sheet with our tap and die set. So a 5 by 0.8 millimeter tap requires a 4.2 millimeter or a 5/32 inch drill bit. So that's what we're going to be using, and we're just going to go in a little bit, then you turn it back out a bit, in a little more, back out, and it clears the metal shavings. And a little bit of oil for lubrication always helps. So we're gonna give it a little squirt. And then we'll use our tap. And we'll put it in with our thing, with our T. And then just a little bit of pressure, and then back. And we just do that all the way until we get it all the way through. You can kind of feel when it's starting to get tight too. And we take it out. So now we got tap. Not sure if you can see the thread holes or not, or the threads or not. And we can still use our factory GoPro bolts. And then we'll make sure that our camera mounts on it, no problem. Yeah, it works pretty good. It's snug. I might get a longer bolt and put a little T-handle on it so I can reef on a little bit tighter. Just when you're on the freeway and you have the camera pointing forward at 75, 80 mile an hour, like 120, 130 kilometer, there's a lot of wind going over this trying to fold it back. So it'll start to fold back like that if you don't have this tight enough sometimes. And it's hard to get a really good squeeze with this. So I might get a little bit longer bolt and then put a little bigger T-handle on it so I can reef it a little bit tighter. Oh, I may even end up putting a nut on the back side and tacking it in so I have even more thread engagement if I need to get it tighter. Oh. So that's that. So let's go slip this on the bike and we'll see how it looks. So now we can slip this on the bike. That should just thread right in. We can be facing forward, and then we're able to turn it 360 degrees so we can shoot in any direction. And then when we have it at our desired angle that we want it, we just take our wing nut and we just give it a little tighten, and then that's tight on the bike. And then you just got to loosen it off just a hair. And then we can set it to any angle we want. So if we're riding along and the nice scenery is off to one side or the other, we can actually turn the camera in any direction to get the view that we want. We can even have it pointing back at ourselves. It'll probably catch my windshield here, and I didn't want to build it up higher, but I can record kind of behind me too. So it gives me 360 degrees of recordability. I just have to manually set it where I want it first. So a lot of the time you'll have beautiful scenery one side or the other, not as much in front of you. So I'm able to, I'll be able to catch that now on my trips. And then that wing nut, I'm able to lock it in. So when I'm on the bike, I'm able to reach with one hand and do it. It'll be a little more cumbersome with gloves on, but the wing nut's big enough. I should be able to do it with ease, and it should be okay. So that should work pretty awesome for me. So the last thing I need to do is I should paint this black, just so it doesn't rust or anything. Since I got caught in rain, I should paint it or put something on it to prevent the rust. So I'm not going to do that on this video. I want to get it out on the road and do a couple tests with it first and make sure I don't want to do any changes before I put paint on it. So I think I got it dialed in pretty good, and I think it's going to work very well for me. But I'm going to hold off on painting it until I test it and verify it. This way I don't have to remove the paint and to do any extra welding if I want to do anything to it. Once I test it, then I'll give it a quick spray. So when I go on my trip this year, that's going to be the setup I'm going to be using. So hopefully I'll be able to get some really nice shots while I'm on the road. I typically don't stop too much. I kind of just motor. So it'll be nice to be able to get those nice side shots if the scenery's not as much in front of me and more so beside me. So it'll be an upgrade from previous years. And it'll be... I tried on one trip one time having it mounted to my helmet, and you just kind of move your head too much. And if you've seen the videos from I think it would be 2022, that's where the camera was mounted, and it was kind of all over the place. And then in 2023 I had it mounted on the front fairing, and it was much nicer camera view. It was a lot more stable. Only downside there is sometimes nicer scenery off to the side, but the camera didn't quite catch it all. So this will give me the option to angle it. I can be slightly looking ahead or whatever, and it'll give me the option to catch the better views. And then this is what the factory GoPro bases look like. They're not very big, and they're always kind of concave, at least all the ones that I could find in my area. And they always come off. So looking at the base that I have now compared to this, I have a much better contact patch, and it's all tape on this, and I had custom bent this so it would be the same shape as the fairing. So I have maximum contact, so I should be a lot better than when I had the factory GoPro one. This is significantly bigger. Thanks for watching. I hope that you found that helpful or interesting, and maybe it'll help you out when you're making your own camera mounts for your bike or car or whatever. I've made custom mounts for my tripod, for the race cars, and for the motorbikes. So when you can't always get a mount that does exactly what you want, or it doesn't hold up. And sometimes it's just easier to make your own. And with a little bit of imagination, sometimes you can make a pretty useful mount. One thing that I might do, once I test it, I might actually trim this bolt a little bit shorter so it drops down about a 1/4 inch lower, so it catches even less air, which might be okay. So I'll know that for sure once I give a test and I'll see how much it vibrates. But the lower you get it, the less leverage it's going to have to pull that mounting pad off. So it's kind of like your handle on your ratchet. Use a 1/4 inch drive ratchet, and you have a big heavy bolt and you can't get enough leverage on it to break it free, but then you use a 1/2 inch drive ratchet and it has a longer handle, and you put a 1/4 of the effort in and you get way more power and to get that bolt broke free. So it's kind of the same thing. The lower I get the camera to the mount, the less leverage the wind's going to have to start pulling that mount off the fairing. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button, and check me out on Instagram at Clara Garage. You can also become a member of the Clara Garage YouTube channel, so you get earlier access to videos and all that fun stuff. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.